Tlingit Law. Good day, everybody. Thank you all for joining us with our lunchtime chats with Tlingit Haida. My name is Roald Helgeson. I serve as the Chief Operating Officer, and I'm so pleased for our topic of the week, which is our community and behavioral services. The lunchtime chats are an opportunity for us to share information with our tribal citizens on our programs and our services, as well as government and administrative activities. Today, we have an all-star team coming to you from our production studios on the Gastineau Channel with our communications team. We have our Community and Behavioral Health Services Division, and I'm pleased to introduce Community Behavioral Health Services Director, Dr. Tina Woods, Community Behavioral Services Clinician, Margaret Katzik, and Behavioral Health Aide, William Andrews. Dr. Woods and team, can you please take a moment to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yes, hello, hello. My name is Tina Woods. I'm the daughter of the late Maria Scheichnikoff. My mother was a Nunga originally from St. Paul Island, and I'm also the daughter of the late Juan Duenas Leon Guerrero. My father was Chamorro from the island of Guam, and I'm just happy to be here with all of you to share our services with the Behavioral Services Department.
Hello, everybody. I am Margaret Katzik, Saach Tlingit Haida, Margaret Katzik, Tlingit Haida, Ganach Tedi Ayachat, Ach Ishas Shangu Kedi, Ach Kla Fliskuhas Ana Ut Ka Anushi, Joskat Kwan, Yai Hit Dach. My name is Margaret Katzik. I'm Ganach Tedi, Raven Woodworm, a child of the Shungu Kedi clan, Eagle Thunderbird. Also, my mother's grandparents were Arununga from St. George Island and also Russian. Our clan comes from Klekwan, just outside of Haines, and I come from the Whale House. So hello to all my relatives out there. I'm child of David, the late David Katzik Kingiste, and Dorothy Jorgensen. I'm one of the clinicians for this new department. I'm excited to be here.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is William Andrews, and I'm Daisy Tan from Angoon, Raven House. My mother was Elaine Chilton, and I'm the grandson of Harriet Chilton. I'm introducing my matrilineal side according to our customs. However, I want to recognize my father's people, the Aleut from Dillingham. This is my first year as a BHA. I grew up here in Juneau, Alaska, went to the University of Alaska Southeast, got my degree in social science, and just happy to be here. So thank you.
How about to each one of you, Dr. Woods, Margaret, and William. Before we begin, I feel it's important to share a little bit about why this new division was created. Many of us know all too well that multi-generational trauma exists, and that trauma can have long-lasting impacts on a person's emotional and psychological well-being if it's left unaddressed. Tlingit Haida's Tribal Assembly has long advocated for us to take a stronger role in the wellness aspect of our tribal citizens and our families, our friends, and our communities. And I'm proud to share that we have followed through and begun an effort on that charge. At the core of our Community and Behavioral Services Division is the desire to give our tribal citizens and families the best opportunity to succeed in life by meeting them where they're at, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Dr. Woods, can you give us a general overview on the Community and Behavioral Services Division?
Absolutely. And I'd like to highlight all the departments within the division. And so first we have our Tribal Family Youth Services Department. We also have our reentry and recovery program. And so we have 3 non-congregate sheltering facilities here at Tlingit Haida for our people, returning citizens and individuals who've received residential treatment and returning to the community. We also have family court services, and we have our community advocacy program in supporting individuals who've been victimized by crime. And then finally, we have the new behavioral services department, which you'll hear plenty about today.
So, Dr. Woods, the reentry and recovery, as well as the Tribal Family and Youth Services Department, fall under the umbrella of community and behavioral services. Why is that important for these 2 departments to be nested with our community and behavioral services division?
Yeah, it's really important that when our tribal citizens seek help and support and advocacy, that there's a no wrong door approach. We really want to ensure that we can hold our people up in every aspect of their life, whatever it is that they're facing. We really try to build team between these departments so that we can use our case management, caseworker services, so that tribal citizens, all of their needs are being met within the division. But even further than that, across the entire tribe, there are so many resources available for our people. And so as soon as an individual comes in for behavioral services, often a part of their treatment plan and goals involves other services that they need. And we get to partner with these other departments to ensure that tribal citizens' full needs holistic approach to wellness.
So, Dr. Woods, there's some development right now with the Wellness Court. Could you elaborate a little bit on that development?
Yes, we are very excited. The Wellness Court will be opening after the new year, and our team, in fact, Margaret Katzik, our CBS clinician, will be providing much of those clinical services, and we will be utilizing Talking Circle as our method in working with our clients.
Margaret, our tribal values are inherent in everything that we do. How do our tribal values tie into the work of the Community and Behavioral Services Division?
Sure. So one of the things that sticks out to me in regards to our team and just overall being the Tlingit Haida tribe, we, for one, a lot of our tribal citizens work for the tribe. And a lot of them have had traditional upbringings and carry that knowledge and that power with them every day. And so I think that just comes out in our work naturally. But one thing, again, that just sticks out is we have a lot of people who ingrain it into the Western way of healing. And so I think that's really neat for all of us. I just talked about our tribal values the other day in session with a participant. And I think that brings relatability when we're working with our people. They know that we know, at least a little bit of where they're coming from. As you mentioned before, the multi-generational trauma that we all share brings that connections, those connections that we have with each other. So I think it comes out in different ways, even if we're not naming it and putting it explicitly. I think it's you can feel it with each other. So thank you.
William, one of our underlying beliefs of the Community and Behavioral Services Division is when we heal ourselves, we heal our ancestors and our future generations. Can you share more about that concept and how the Healing Center aims to serve our citizens?
Oh, absolutely, Roll, and thank you. And you mentioned earlier the concept of generational trauma, right? So that implies that our ancestors experienced quite a bit of their own trauma, and that we inherited that through um, our genes, and it's in our DNA. And so when I struggled earlier in my life, and even recently in my life, I'd reflect back on and try to find answers. Like, why do I have problems managing my emotions? Why do I get upset and get mad at things that other people don't get upset about? And then I'd reflect back on some of the earlier experiences in my childhood and be angry or resentful towards people who are no longer with us, and say that it's their fault that I'm this way. And if they would have been able to manage their lives better, I wouldn't be this way. But through my experience of healing and the training that I've been getting and understanding the concept of generational trauma, now I have compassion and empathy for my family who are no longer with us, and that they were doing the best that they could. And I'm going to segue to the fact that even though we do have resources today, they're at capacity. And that's one of the reasons why Dr. Woods came along and we formed the CBS. And so thinking back, a lot of my family who are no longer with us, they didn't have resources at all. And so again, that just makes me have more compassion and more empathy. And then, but as I continue to work on this path of healing for myself and my peers, that this is also going to help our future generations, that we're going to sever that link between trauma of our past and our future. And so our kids and their kids are going to have a better head start as we move forward. So thank you, Rold.
Dr. Woods, there's some incredible work being done to stand up our community and behavioral services and its healing center. Can you share a little more about the services that are being offered at the healing center now?
Yes, absolutely, Rold. And I really want to just pause for a moment and really honor the team. And we'll get a chance to meet more of our team members on the screen here. But just thank you to Margaret and William for committing yourself to serving our tribal citizens. So the Healing Center services that we offer right now include assessment for mental health and substance use disorders. And we provide counseling, both for individual, family, group, counseling services. We also have a contracted testing psychologist. So if we are working with a client and discover that they require additional specialty services such as psychological testing, we can do that. We offer case management, which is an extremely valuable resource to individuals that are navigating life and need that extra hand holding. Due to the pandemic, we have really mastered the use of Zoom. It's a HIPAA compliant platform, Zoom for Health, which allows us to provide telebehavioral services to people, keeping our tribal citizens safe. We also offer crisis response debriefing, whether it be to families, communities, or organizations when a tragedy occurs. And then finally, as mentioned earlier, we have our reentry and recovery department and sheltering, non-congregate sheltering facilities for women and men. And we also do referrals to those resources.
Dr. Woods, so just recently, the Community and Behavioral Services Division launched a new website. What can our citizens find on this website?
Yes, we are really excited to have launched this website because it allows our tribal citizens to gain access to what is available to them. And there are a number of resources that you'll find online. And I will talk soon here about a resource that we're really excited to share. But for now, really, Rolled, the thing that I want our tribal citizens to see, Margaret touched on this. I want our tribal citizens to be able to visit the website and to feel. To feel. I don't understand the Tlingit and Haida language, but when I hear somebody speak the language, and I welcome that in sessions when I'm working with clients, we feel the language, we feel, we heal through relationship. And that's what I hope people, when they visit our website, that they recognize that what they'll receive here in services is healing themselves through relationship. And so on our website, you can find whatever you want to know about the services that we offered that I named earlier, but we also want you to visit the section on how we help. And so one of the things that we are very blessed with is that 99% of our staff are Tlingit and Haida tribal citizens. These are individuals who have gone off to school, are currently in school, wanting to heal with our people. And so you can learn about what the philosophy and the culture that we're creating here around our philosophy of healing, infusing our tribal values. And I think Margaret did a fantastic job describing that. You can also visit and submit a request for, you could submit a referral for yourself or for a family member, but we recommend that if you refer a family member, be sure to talk with them first because we will contact them. We have resources that allow you to watch watch productions that we've created around topics, and we might even have a slide here on that. But basically, we maintain any Facebook Live events that are recorded, pre-recorded, so that people can go back and visit those. And then finally, we are based here in Juneau, but we recognize that there are tribal citizens across the nation, 33,000 plus tribal citizens across the nation. So even if we as providers cannot do therapy due to boundaries with our licensure, we want our tribal citizens to know there are other services that you can access. You can call us and we can help you find resources wherever you're at.
Well, Dr. Woods, so although I hear or I understand it's not available yet, a critical resource that will be available soon through the website is an online addiction treatment education program called Culture Heals Addiction. Can you talk about that educational resource?
And I was just on mute there. We are very excited about the Culture Heals online addiction education treatment program. And this will be launched after the new year. And so think of this as a self-guided journey for somebody who is still wanting to explore. Education is key. And when I say education, I'm talking about learning about ourselves, as William had described earlier, reflecting on how we have grown up, who we've become, and understanding things like adverse childhood experiences. Sometimes it's hard to understand the complexity of historical trauma and intergenerational trauma. Those are things that we can work with clients to help understand ourselves. So Culture Heals is an online platform that will also allow people in the privacy of their own home to log on. It's paired with a crisis call center called Protocol. And Protocol has the technology to track all of our tribal citizens that are calling in seeking help if it happens outside of our normal business operating hours. And Protocol has they have offices all over the lower 48. So if we have tribal citizens that are calling in another state, this is a resource available to all of our tribal citizens, no matter where they're at. And so we really want to encourage people once this launches to come and visit the site, to learn more about yourself, to open the doors to maybe wanting to explore seeking therapy and healing yourself.
We are very excited about the Culture Heals Addiction program, and we're looking forward to our startup. William, we understand that greater healing and wellness can be found by taking a holistic approach. What is holistic healing, and can you talk a little more about the other treatment methods used?
So, the holistic approach is, looking at latent things or trying to find out other sources of stressors besides things that are obvious. So if, let's say, a client had a family member pass away, or an important relationship to them ended, or some other crisis in their life that everybody can understand that that's what's going to trigger stress and affect their behavior. But holistic approach means taking a deeper dive and looking at other things that are going on in that client's life that aren't obvious. Ask them how much sleep they're getting. What's the quality of their sleep? What type of nutrition are they getting? Are they getting too much of a certain type of a food or not enough nutrition at all? And if they're having strong and healthy relationships with their community and they're nurturing friendships and they're helping family, but ask them, when you're spending your time, what do you do for you? And so does that person have a hobby or an interest, or are they doing something to satisfy their own internal needs for creativity or solitude to heal and regroup themselves? So deep diving into this person's life and looking at all of the different aspects that are affecting them so that you can have a better idea of how to approach working with them on their healing, and open up different ideas and find resources that they can branch out to and explore. So the whole picture really helps to understand what is affecting the client from all the different aspects of their life.
Hello, William. Dr. Woods, another important resource provided from our community and behavioral services is a crisis response support service. Could you tell our viewers about the different aspects of these services?
Absolutely. So when our community, as a community, we heal together, we look out for each other. And when a tragedy happens, we're all affected. And so our CBS Healing Center does offer crisis response support services. And so this resource, this flyer on the screen actually is a resource available to share with folks to remind you to take care of yourself and to remind you of the common responses that you might experience as a result of a tragedy. We can offer talking circles, community healing circles, and all you have to do is reach out and ask and contact our main line 463-7305, and we can offer that support. And we recognize that people heal together, so we recognize the importance of offering this as a resource.
So very important to recognize and to support our citizens and families when it comes to having normal responses to abnormal situations, and not labeling our responses as abnormal. These are normal. And I appreciate seeing the work of our crisis response support services. Margaret, one of our very first resources the Community and Behavioral Services Division developed was our Virtual Wellness Wednesdays series. These presentations have covered some great topics, and which you've made presentation on. Can you talk a little more about the Wellness Wednesdays and how people can watch some of those great past presentations?
Yeah, definitely. So just like you said, these are one of the first, I think, community outreach projects that we started, that Dr. Woods started. And it's 1 hour presentation, usually monthly. And they've topics vary there. You can look at those, the topics on those little flyers at the bottom. But yeah, I think it's just a great way, another learning device for citizens and other people to, it's just another great resource for everyone. And again, you can find the recordings on that link on our website. And the thing that I, like Dr. Woods was saying, is just a great way for another avenue for us to access healing. You know, everyone takes their healing journey in different ways and different speeds. You know, my healing journey is not going to look the same as anyone else. And again, just another reminder of, we want to meet our citizens where they're at. And if they're not ready to come in and see us face to face individually, this is another way of taking that step and learning about themselves or learning more about their families even. Yeah, so I think it's a great educational piece. And we also realize how heavy the topics may be. We might not know how a topic will affect us. And when, again, another way of finding that out is just looking at those and then knowing that we're here for when you want to take that next step to meet us in person.
So throughout the pandemic, healthcare providers have also been experiencing it, not only the demanding workload from COVID, but the long hours that can lead to stress, anxiety, fear, and other strong emotions that affect their well-being. Another valuable resource developed through our Community and Behavioral Services Division was the Hope, or is the Hope and Resilience sessions. Can you describe these sessions and what has been accomplished?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, I really feel that our staff here at Tlingit Haida are very blessed to have leadership that wanted to execute services for the staff. So Hope and Resilience was developed to help our staff who are holding space to heal our tribal citizens, because we are our own clients as well. And so Hope and Resilience was established to offer space via Zoom to teach coping skills and to help our employees to make it through the pandemic, especially when things became very complicated. Everyone was sent home to work remote. People were living in isolation. It was a very scary time for many. And it started in 2019 and continues. The Hope and Resilience sessions continue to take place every week. But on top of that, our leadership recognized the importance of taking care of our healers, taking care of our healthcare providers that are at bedside with our family members during this very difficult time, that not only are they socially isolated, but sometimes they are in their most vulnerable state. They are very sick and sometimes dying. And so Hope and Resilience was our effort to support those that are taking care of our people and to hold them up during a time, to give them the space to talk about the experience that they're having, and a special place where alike providers, nurses, CNAs, anyone who felt the need to join these sessions was welcome to join these sessions. And we continue to host them as the demands come in. And so, Roald, I just think that this was such a beautiful gift to the staff and to our people during a time that is very painful.
Dr. Woods, how do our tribal citizens sign up or join these types of support groups?
Yeah, so these are advertised. They're advertised every month. We hold sessions for our Tlingit and Haida staff members. Every Wednesday at 5:30, we hold a session on hope and resilience. We advertise, just as on the screen, as an example, for healthcare providers. And this is co-facilitated with Ilona Vanderven, which is an ICU nurse provider at the Alaska Native Medical Center. And she has a lot of experience in understanding from being a provider. And so they're advertised, but I welcome anyone that's listening. If it is something that you're interested in, please email us at our behavioral_services department email and let us know if this is something that we can hold space for a group of people who really need it.
This is awesome. Are there other groups out there that you will be forming and you'd like to mention?
Definitely. We have a grief and loss group that we are launching in January. We have received a number of referrals for this group. As you can see on the screen, this is a journey of healing, especially again during a time there has been so much loss. And so what's really special about this grief and loss group is it was developed by our doctoral intern, Charnel Vale, who's Tlingit, originally from Yakutat. And what we do here at the CBS Healing Center is we combined our training with Western-based therapies, and in this case, acceptance commitment therapy, together infused with our tribal values. And so we really look forward to holding people up who are struggling this journey of loss during a time that we are held in isolation and not able to grieve in our traditional practices. So that's a group that's coming up. We also are working towards establishing a group for men's healing. We are establishing groups around working with adolescent teenage girls who around healthy relationships and coping skills. We have a lot of requests that are coming to our attention of need in the community world. So we welcome feedback. We can never do it as fast as we would love to, but we take what our tribal citizens request very seriously.
How about Dr. Woods? So our tribal citizens live across the country. Are the services that community and behavioral services provides available to all of our tribal citizens? And how can they seek care?
Yeah, so to seek care, there's one of three ways. You can call our main number, you can email, as on the screen there, or you can submit through the website. And that's how we can receive your referral. Now, of course, anywhere in Alaska, we are licensed to provide services. So if we have a tribal citizen who needs services and they're having a hard time getting services right where they're at, they can reach out to us. And if we can't help them find something locally, then we can provide support via telehealth, Zoom. If it's a tribal citizen that's living out of state, we still want to hear from you because we have partners with our crisis call line who does have connections in many states throughout the US so that we can find you culturally responsive services close to home.
Thank you, Dr. Woods. Margaret, for those who are experiencing a crisis and need immediate support, how can Community and Behavioral Services Healing Center help, and what should they do?
Yeah, so I think this is another great resource that we're providing, and different, one that I haven't heard locally at least. What CBS is doing, we have an on-call crisis schedule for our clinicians. And what happens is if there is a citizen in crisis, they can call our 463-7305 number, and there'll be a specific clinician for that day who is just readily available for any of those crises calls, and can set up a Zoom or a phone call. And again, just holding that space for that person in their time of need. And then obviously can also help determine if there's more ongoing services that they want to approach. We can set them up with that. Or it can just be that one time. And if someone's having a bad day and just needs someone to listen and hold that space for them, we give them a call back and get them situated and get them that help that they need in that time. So yeah, I think it's really great for anyone who, again, is just needing that immediate session, emergency session with a clinician. And again, can do more ongoing services through the proper paperwork and whatnot.
Now, Dr. Woods, you formed a strong team of people who are ready to help our tribal citizens. Could you introduce the other healers that are part of our center?
Absolutely. This is my favorite part, Rold. On the screen, these are our tribal citizens and our healers. These are people who come, some have worked for Tlingit Haida for many years. We have some new faces, but really starting to the left, my left of the screen, we have Amalia Monreal, who is our lead clinician. We have Ashley Hunt, she's a clinician. To the right of that, we have Margaret Hobby. And so Margaret is a new behavioral health aide. Margaret's also pursuing her bachelor's degree from the Rural Human Services program. We're very proud of her. We have another Margaret Katzik on the screen, our CBS clinician. She's also the primary clinician for our wellness court once the door is open and we start providing services to our tribal citizens referred from that route. We have Jenny Brown, who is really amazing. She is one of our behavioral health aides, and you saw earlier on the screen, Jenny is responsible for facilitating, and she is recruiting for a beading group, and this is for single moms. And it's a wonderful group where you're engaging in arts and crafts and having discussion among alike people. We have William Andrews, also a behavioral health aide, and he is on the screen with us today. Rachel Jeans, she has her master's in counseling from Hawaii. And so she's grown up in Juneau, and she is a wonderful clinician. We have Nicole McCabe, and she's also one of our behavioral health aides. She's a powerhouse, comes with a lot of experience and energy. She really seals the team as a cohort of behavioral health aides and training together. We have Lisa Penoyer. She is our caseworker. Case management is her role, and she is absolutely fabulous at it. She has many, many years working here at the tribe. And then finally, we have Charnel Vale. She is our doctoral intern. She originally is from Yakutat, and she is responsible for designing the integrated Western and traditional values grief and loss group, and she will be co-facilitating that in January. That's our team, Rolled, and they are beautiful people. We do have one more team member joining us on Monday. So.
Awesome. That is great news. And it's so good to see our clinicians and our team of healers for community and behavioral services. William, and maybe even the larger team, the work of Community and Behavioral Services Division not only supports our tribal citizens, it supports our employees too, especially through this pandemic. You and your team recently hosted a virtual Jeopardy for staff over the lunch hour. Could you tell us a little more about the goal behind this fun afternoon activity?
Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I was going to talk about the hope and resilience sessions, and then maybe Margaret can talk about the Jeopardy game, because I wasn't there for the Jeopardy game. But and I could talk all day about the hope and resilience sessions. I was exposed to them when they first came out, but I was with the tribe at a different capacity at the time. I was the coordinator for the VTRC, and I was going through some really tough times in my life. I was experiencing two major life changes that I was really struggling with, and then you put on top of that the isolation from COVID, and so it was just a dark time in my life. And so when our leadership introduced this resource, I took advantage of it as quickly as I could. And that's when I first met Dr. Woods. And in those sessions, it was just such a powerful experience. I went there for help for me, but my takeaways were that, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are needing help. And, to see some of the powerful stories that were coming out, even some of the tragic stories, to see people being vulnerable and connecting and sharing with people that they didn't know, it was so brave, and it encouraged me to be vulnerable and share stories. And so taking away tools and resources from those sessions, I was able to triage myself in real time to help myself cope and deal with the stressors that were going on in my life. And I kept going to them every session. I didn't want to miss one. I really enjoyed them immensely. And so ironically, that's what transitioned me into the career path that I'm in now. And I participate in those with Dr. Woods as part of my work, but I don't see it as work. I see it as like, this is playtime or fun for me. But I guess I want to be careful and not say playtime and fun, because again, there are some pretty sad stories that come out. But it's a very powerful experience. It's very healing, and I do enjoy them. And I hear a lot of other anecdotes from participants who talk about how they're doing this for them. This is their them time. I mentioned earlier asking clients in this holistic approach, like what are you finding for yourself to do that gives you satisfaction and healing in life? And some of the participants talk about, hey, I've got strong and healthy boundaries with my family, that this is my me time. I'm doing this, and I'm not going to be distracted or have my focus taken away from this. So they're amazing. They're awesome. So I'll let Margaret talk about the Jeopardy experience. Thank you, Rold.
Thanks. I don't know if you can see me on that little picture, but I was one of the lucky participants for Employee Jeopardy, and it was just a chance for the organization to get away from, or just to meet outside of work duties and responsibilities, but all the questions were about other departments and employees, and it was just fun to be able to get on there and be goofy and laugh with each other. Again, another way to just connect, because through this pandemic, it was, as you know, is just hard to get out and isolating. So and we do, it was a way for us to see other people and different views. So, if people don't know you personally or on a personal level, you get to see each other in a different light. And so it was just a fun activity. Also learned a lot about other departments, so which also broke down any walls or barriers, questions that we might have about other departments and positions. So it's just really morale boosting. I get a kick out of thinking about it because I love these kind of games and board games. So I was right in my I also had to tell myself to not take it up too high because, I still wanted to keep my job and keep the friends there. So, but yeah, it was a fun activity. So that Dr. Woods thankfully put on for us and had other participants from other departments. So, yeah.
And a fun activity, lighten all of our load a little bit. And also recognizing with the tribe now over 400 employees, getting to know a little bit more about our colleagues is important. So with all of this work that's already been done, what goals do you hope to accomplish in this next coming year? And what are you excited about that you will be bringing to our tribal citizens?
Yeah, so before we move on to that, the last point I want to make about Jeopardy rolled is laughter is medicine. And there was so much laughter and it was so fun. And laughter is medicine and it's important to laugh. So we are a fast moving train. This team is so excited to bring healing to our people. And the leadership here at Tlingit Haida has really allowed us the space to do such. So a couple things that we're really excited about is number one, we are in the process of we're building an intensive outpatient program for substance use disorders. And we want it to also be very culturally responsive. We want to be very careful about the types of groups that we offer to encourage healing. We fully believe in holistic healing and not parts of a person, but the whole person. So we're really excited about that world. We are excited about designing a men's healing program. We recognize that has been requested over and over because it's a huge need. We look forward to continuing to grow, especially with our case management work, because we know that that's a really, really important piece of walking along our people and helping them through their healing. And then finally, the Culture Heals Addiction online program. We really hope to share that far with individuals with the hope that it opens the door to people feeling brave and allowing themselves to be vulnerable to say, I'd like to do some healing. And so that's where we're going to put all our energy rolled. And as you saw, we have an incredible team to do that together with.
Oh, and we appreciate what you are doing as a team for our people. And we know that this is the beginning. This is the very beginning. And we appreciate that it will take some time and some space to build out these programs that our people need and that they deserve. So now is the time to hear directly from our citizens and the public. We'd like to open up for questions. Again, questions, hopefully folks have put them in the chat. I know there's a couple of them out there now. We'll do our best to try to answer those this afternoon. So if you have a question, please type it in the comment section and our team in communications will get it right on over here to our studio crew and we'll try to get them answered. And I do see we have a couple, so I'll start with the first one. So do you have the ability to work with veterans? Some have deeply seated PTSD from their traumatic experience.
Thank you so much, Roald. William, do you mind just sharing our understanding as a team around this subject and our desire to also build that along with some of the new programs?
Sure. Of course, Dr. Woods. Well, I think one of the qualifications that helped me into this position was I'm a veteran, and so being able to relate and have context to a lot of our men and women who have served and the things that they've experienced, as well as the disconnect that they have when they transition from a military culture to a civilian lifestyle, and how that can be challenging in and of itself. But we know that there's a lot of need out there for our veterans. And so that's my high elevation understanding, and perhaps Dr. Woods can elaborate. And so, but that's currently my understanding is of how we're going to work with our veterans, and our goal is to serve that specific group of people.
Absolutely. Thank you, William. And I think that's the best answer we could give right now, because we recognize that it's a special, we have to consider working with our veterans in a way that we understand. And so we have to be really careful on how we cultivate programming and healing with our veterans. And so it is on our radar. We have had discussions with subject matter experts, and it is on our radar.
I'll offer that answer and for the question. The next question is, will trauma-informed care be policy? And then what does this look like?
That's a wonderful question. Because yeah, I would say trauma-informed care, when I think about our tribal values, the tribal values for Tlingit and Haida, I think about how we want our people to feel from the time that somebody says hello, or from the time that somebody walks into our space. We want our people to feel no shame, no guilt. We want our people to feel less anxiety, less fear, and feel like they came to the right place. So Rold, it is a part of who we are. And if we have to consider it like in writing and policy, we absolutely will. It is a part of who we are, and the expectation of how we conduct ourselves here at Tlingit and Haida, and especially when we're holding private, confidential space for people to want to ask for help and open that door. It's a very scary thing for people to ask for help. And so it's important how we conduct ourselves and allow people to feel safe.
I want to do one more check and see if there's any more questions from our live chat. Well, we are coming up at the close to the end of our hour, and we want to thank you, Ha'a, to our panelists who have joined us and shared some great information on our new Community and Behavioral Services Division. For our viewers, Ha'a for joining us just a couple days before Christmas. And to close out the chat, we also want to thank you all for tuning in. And we have a random drawing that while you pressed like, we've been paying attention to that. So we're going to make our random drawing announcements now. So it looks like the Sarah Scott and Robin Lovelace are our winners, each won a Boxley Formline t-shirt. So congratulations to both of you, Ha'a, for joining us this afternoon. We so much appreciate it. Please privately message us through our Facebook page with your mailing address, and we'll get you your prize out in the mail. This concludes our lunchtime chat. We hope you've enjoyed it. This is a very important topic to each one of us, and you can see the energy and the excitement of our staff as they work to make sure that our citizens have the services that they need. And we hope that you, as tribal citizens, have learned something new today about the tribe's activities, programs, and services. And don't forget to join us on our next lunchtime chat on January 6th. Ha'a. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. House Dong King Song. We'll see you all again.
Thank you, Rold. Bye.